Hey, everybody. Welcome to Banner and Chance. We are on a bit of a stretch here where we're going every 2 weeks. So you look for us on that schedule over the next couple of weeks. That would be great. Tonight's going to be a slightly larger session, which is why we're starting early. We're going to go for 3 hours, not 2. We're going to try that format for a little bit. And we're going to get a little deeper now that we're getting closer and closer to our big baddie bosses. So before we get going any further, I want to go ahead and welcome everybody in the order of Shady, Noel, Luna, and Rebecca. Can we say hello, please?
Hello, I am Shady, and I play Runt. She is a young human rogue.
What's going on, guys? I'm Noel, and I play Rook, who is a Shadowkai Bard Rogue.
I'm Luna. I play Keen. She is a human Kensei monk.
And I'm Becca. I play Bee. She is a Shadowkai Twilight Cleric.
Fantastic. So before we go any further, why don't we go ahead and we'll talk about what happened last time on Banner and Chance. Our party had destroyed a hag coven. One of the hags had escaped with Chishioa, an Oni that had bothered the party. The second Oni servant of Karathur that they had met. They left Bertha's island with 30 children, or 30 plus children in tow. Some boarded the Shadow's Glint and headed off back to Harrowdale with their friend Griffaro minding the children. While our party, having discovered the Moon Maiden, a sacred vessel of Selune, at the bottom of what was called Bertha's Bay. The Shadowkai Selune cleric, Bees, brought it to the surface with the amulet that she had found in the cave. They boarded it and found that it was able to provide them what they needed at that moment. It was kind of a room of requirement on the water. While they were boarding, and they only took 2 of the children from the island with them, Hoot and her sister Clarissa, there was suspicion among the party, specifically from Geen, who was very wary of letting Bill Corm go any further with him. And she tried to find him. She tried to actually stop him from joining them, but he disappeared. And it was only upon entering her room on the Moon Maiden, wishing to see Bill Corm, that he appeared suddenly in front of her. Shaken, he skulked past her. And at the end of the last session, he ran towards prisoners that they had taken from Karathur's forces. Slashed their throats. A blood spray emitted. As our party saw him and went towards the screaming and the racket, he said, "It didn't have to be this way." And he stepped within this misty shower of blood and disappeared. This is where we will pick things up. Some of you are standing now looking at this. As we start episode 29, entitled Croak and Dagger. Rook, you are standing there. You've raced into this scene. So let's just quickly tell me where each one of you are just physically in this room. As we look down towards the prow of the boat on the lower deck, we see one masked prisoner still alive, and a number of the rest are hanging dead and motionless on their shackles. Where do I see you standing in relation to each other, and what is on your face? So let's start with you, Runt.
Confusion.
Okay. Bees?
I'd probably be like just behind Rook and confusion as well because I have no idea how this guy got on this boat.
Gain.
If I remember correctly, was it Rooker or was it Geen who was the first to enter the room?
In my mind, you were sort of either neck and neck or you were shoulder to shoulder when all of this went down.
You're
Okay.
faster than me though by a lot, I think.
So let's say
Okay.
we can say you're in front.
All right, then I'm standing in the middle of the room in front of everyone. No emotion on my face.
Okay. And Rook, you had entered in and tried in vain to hold person, but he slipped your magical grasp.
Probably anger at recognizing what he did
All
and
right.
where he.
Rook, you'll be the first to talk. So, what?
Fucking blood portals. Damn it. Son of a bitch. He's like angry and just kind of confused, and so he's gonna look at Geen and run. Did you know he could do that?
No.
How long you been traveling with that one? Shit. Right under our fucking noses the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to bed. And I'm going back to the room to lay down.
Yeah, I'm kind of a loss for words right now. Rook is confused as to why they would have. Actually, he'd say it out loud. Why were you traveling with a devotee? To anyone who's listening, probably keen at just before Runt leaves, maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's all he says, and he keeps looking at B like this isn't good. 'Cause I think she would know too, right? Wait, Tim.
I don't know.
Well, like, yeah, maybe not. Okay.
She may. I'll say you're not sure.
Okay. Fucking blood portal. God.
Well, there's not much left that we can do right now. So might as well, and I'll will the boat to kind of clean up the mess so that we don't have to look at it.
So the
And
boat
then-
sort of prestidigitates all the blood in it. It seems to seep away into the woodwork, this silvery woodwork, and
I need a drink. I'm gonna go back to
And
the
then-
captain's room.
You
Head
said
back
there's
towards-
one still alive?
yeah, the one that Rook had put the mask of this iron mask on. He was not dispatched. And even if you wish it be, I mean, if you want these bodies out of your sight, they literally fall through the floor and are just gone. If that's what you wish to have happen. So,
Oh no, I was just talking about the blood.
okay, the blood goes.
If Rogar's not in the room with us, I'm going to his room.
Okay. So you head off to Rogar's room. Bees, where are you heading?
Back to Rook's room.
Okay. And Rook?
Yeah, I'm going back to my room to have a drink and have a think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Runt, when you enter your space to go to bed, you see that Clarissa Subtle is still at your table, and she's sort of munching beetles and throwing them in sort of lazily in her mouth and, sort of just playing with her fingernails. Literally, she's got them in front of her on the tabletop, and she's kind of moving them around, making them talk to one another.
Didn't I kick her out?
She's back.
Okay. Well, I want to charge and dive at her.
Okay.
I'm enraged.
All right.
I'd like to baby rage.
I like the rogue rage.
All right. So you've left the scene. You go into the room. The rest of you,
little bitch! What's your problem?
she sort of backs up and puts her back against the bed.
Bringing up my actions.
All right.
And I'm going to attack her.
All right.
The dagger.
I love you,
That is,
Shady.
It's little bitch.
Yeah, that is a 26.
It misses. It's just,
Oh yeah, no, that hits. That hits.
Okay. 4, 2, 4, 6, 8 damage.
All right. That wounds her grievously, and she, unarmed, she moves towards the door and attempts to make for the hallway.
I will let her leave.
Okay. She bursts through the door, Geen, just as because Runt left quite a bit before. So you're on your heel, Bees. Geen, you're moving up the hallway towards where you think Rogar is, and out comes Clarissa Subtle, this young girl, and falls at your feet. And she's bleeding from the abdomen. And sort of scrambles back to her feet and tries to head to her brother's room.
I take a step forward and look into the room.
Into Runt's room?
Yeah.
She growls at you as she sort of goes past, and she just sort of hisses and growls, and then dodges into Hoot's room. You can hear Hoot wake up and kind of start, and but the door slams shut. You look in, and there's Runt with her daggers out.
Shoving a handful of beetles in my mouth and giving her a salute with a dagger.
Keep walking.
the timing of that.
Do I hear her come out into the hallway?
You see her come out into the hallway, fall at Geen's feet, right herself, kind of growl, head to Hoot's door, let herself in, and then you see Geen glance in Runt's room and continue to move down the hallway.
Okay, I'll go bind her wounds because I don't have any more healing spells left.
Okay.
For the day.
When you enter the Hoot's room, you can see that she's cowering in one of the corners behind the rocking chair. Hoot seems confused and tired, and but isn't a stranger to sort of blood and horror, so he sort of, turns over on his shoulder, or she turns over on her shoulder and falls asleep.
Okay, so I'll go over to Clarissa and... Oh, I have water in my thing, so I'll hold out the water pouch to her.
She growls and hisses at you and says... and just sort of mumbles something, and what you think you hear is something along the sicky witchy crumbs, and she grabs it from you and she takes a swig, and then her face softens. And she seems to be made more comfortable, and you can see that the blood is kind of staunched, right?
Okay, I'll take the water flask back from her and just bandage whatever's still bleeding.
Okay, and roll a medicine check for me, please.
Medicine is 8. Very middle. Yep, 8.
All right. You're able to put a bandage on.
I'm not super worried about it because she has the water. So
Yep. She seems comforted by it at this point. Suddenly, sort of a different person. I don't know why that wouldn't want to stab me just for eating the beetles.
I don't know. Why don't you try and get some sleep, and then we'll talk about it in the morning, okay?
Sticky witchy, she says, and she curls over on her side and sort of
And I'll-
pulls over a rug that's laying on the floor and throws it over her shoulder.
I'll leave and go back to Rook's room.
You're down the hallway at this point, Rook. If you want to be as far down as you want, but you're at the doors.
I'll be in the room. Yeah, I'll just be pouring myself a drink, and then is there like a small part of the room that's a little bit darker than the rest, like where the light's not hitting it or anything?
Yeah, there is your sleeping berth, and there is a head that's off to the side, and then there is the map on the table, and you can see that now in the dusk light that there are glowing figures on the map.
And if Bee walks in, she's gonna see Rook pointedly like looking at the darker spot in the room and saying, "I know, I'll kill him." So bitch, get out of my head.
Just ignore it and grab a drink because it's not abnormal at this point in their lives.
Okay.
And then sit down in the closest chair.
When you head down the hallway, Geen, you don't see Rogar in your room.
I was looking for him.
Okay.
I wasn't going to my room. I was looking for his room.
Okay. So he hasn't picked out a room before, so you'll have to check a couple of doors, but as you do, you sort of look into one and another, and you open up one, and it appears to be very, very stark, and there is a porthole in the side of this room, and Rogar is standing there looking outside of the porthole.
He lied.
Yes, he lied.
He left Keep Sorrow because of those murders. That was a lie. He was the murderer, wasn't he?
I don't know. I know he saved your life. I know he's helped us. I know he rushed Morzu of the Black Vein, that Oni in Harrowdale, and was almost cut in two, trying to help us. I can't say if he killed those sailors on the dancing sword. I can say I'm confused. And I'm questioning everything. I should have seen it.
I should have left those arrows in him. And I leave the room.
He doesn't turn around.
I'm gonna go to Runt's room.
Okay, you're at Run's room.
I open the door.
Where's Run?
Probably laying down.
Is she asleep or just lying down?
No, I'm not asleep. I'm counting dead gnomes.
I grab whatever bottle is closest to me. I'll open it and start drinking from it and sit down next to her.
You taste the familiar burn of the same crazy strong liquor that the High Harvestress was drinking in Harrowdale.
I'll just keep chugging it, and then I'll just kind of put my head on top of Runt's head. And just sit there.
Are you okay? Maybe?
I don't know.
You feel better when we kill him.
Let's hope so.
I'm gonna kind of give her head a little pat, but only just, and then pull my hand away.
Can I stay here tonight?
Psst, yeah, this is the kid's room. Duh.
Where the wall contained your berth, and it was like a bed set into, like a sailor's bed set into the wall. There's now two, one on top of each other, both with draw curtains. One has beetles on the curtains. The other has dragonflies.
I'm just gonna keep sitting there until she moves. I'm not moving.
I'm gonna see the bed, and I'm gonna try and will it into a large bed that I can crawl underneath.
It doesn't do anything at first, but when you look back at Geen and then turn back towards the bed, the curtain seems to have gone, and instead there's just the dragonfly curtain and a single berth, but now there's a space underneath it.
All right. I'm gonna stand up and grab Keen's hand and try and lead her to the bed.
I'm gonna try and baseball slide under the bed.
And then we'll get some sleep.
Okay.
I did want
Rogar.
to do something in the middle of the night, though. So before
Hey,
we
well,
wake up.
So it's not nighttime, just to be 100% clear. Dusk is upon you. It feels like it's probably, sort of 6 or 7 kind of at night. You can see that the sun has started to set. It's low in the horizon. All the colors are gold and amber. Pinks. You figure you have about 2 or 3 hours before full dark kind of thing.
Well, what I wanted to do, I was going to wait until Runt is well asleep.
Probably
And-
doesn't take long.
Yeah.
She had a lot to
So,
drink.
after a few hours of her just being knocked out and confirming by occasional pokes and movements that she's not going to wake up, then I'll kind of wiggle my way out from under the bed for her and a little bit, and I'll kind of stand up, and I'm going to pull out my pouch. And in my pouch, I'm going to pull out Kane's spell guard symbol that he gave me. And I know it's not going to work. But I'm going to go up to, I don't know, a window, a mirror, whatever's in her room, and try to will Kane into my view. And see what happens.
In front of you, you see the wall, the window that you had seen, and as you start thinking about his view, next to it forms a picture frame, and within that picture frame appears almost an engraved likeness of Cain's face.
I'm gonna touch it. I'm just gonna whisper. Damn you. Why did you have to leave?
As you touch this sort of relief, the visage kind of closes its eyes, and it's as if it's leaning into your hand, and its head is lowered slightly. A bit of a sorrowful expression.
Just when I needed you the most. And I'll walk away from it and go back under the bed with Runt and fall asleep while still holding on to it.
Both of you can consider this the start of a short rest. Back in your room, Rook, the door hadn't been closed, and through it had come bees. Not too long after had come this large dragonborn figure as Rogar comes into the room. And he just sort of stands there for a moment, finding you in the dim.
What's up, big man?
You seem to recognize this magic.
What magic? It's Shadowfell shit.
You know where he went?
How did you know him?
We've had him with us since crossing the Moonsea.
He went back to where I think he went back to, then we're definitely back on KT's radar, if you get my drift.
Mm-hmm.
None too subtle, he goes, "You mean Karathor?"
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I mean. God, I'm gonna... He goes, then... When's the other one? That one. It takes another bottle out that has a much darker liquor and pours it onto the one that already has the other liquor in it.
Okay, as you reach for that liquor, you reached onto the desk, just sort of at a bar that was next to it. You see the symbols that you had seen last when you saw this magical map, and you saw the city of Proscure there, as if it was charting a course. And Bees, you're in the room too, so.
Mm-hmm.
But what catches your eye now is if you remember that there was a map of Toril, and there were a map of a few other lands. And now hanging over one of those lands is like a floating golden symbol of two crossed straight razors.
He was on the ship when we took it, so this thing can follow him. Okay, do I recognize where it is on the map?
As you lean down into it, you can see that the map is as if it's a drawn portion, and there is a name there written underneath this sort of picture of a small settlement and some fields. You see what looks like the top-down view of a tower. The tower is called the Keep of Loss. The town name you know well. It is the Briar's Thorn in the common tongue. But you know it as Zoleri. And this is where you, for many years, put magical tattoos on the foreheads of others.
I'll look up a bee. Look at that. Ring any bells?
Nope. That means he's in this realm. He's not back home.
Well, actually, you recognize this
It's back
as
home.
a town in the Shadowfell.
Oh.
Yeah.
And
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Flip that.
that's back
Reverse
home.
it.
Back home.
He's
Yes.
back home.
He's back home.
Rogar, do you know what a devotee is?
Of course, I'm a devotee of Helm.
One of the magics that our little razor blade carrying shitbag used to get back to the Shadowfell is only ever accessible by people who have given blood as devotees to Arathor. We were able to escape because my sister is able to do the same kind of thing without needing any of that other stuff. But we had a considerable amount of time in that town. So, this isn't just your problem with your person anymore. Now, Arthur will know that we are both alive and kicking. And he'll probably want her back for what she can do, and he'll definitely want me back for what I can do.
Yeah, but he doesn't care if you're dead or alive.
Or not in his use. I'm going to pull out it from my pack. I'll pull my pack out from where it was under the bed, kind of like rummaging around with it, and then I'll pull out the bottle that keeps the dark ink from it in it. And I'll put it on the table, and I'll be like, Rogar, this is what makes those tattoos. And then I'll show him the tattoo that's been scarred, and I'll use see if I can. I think I got one. I'll use prestidigitation as a cantrip. I'll prestidigitate so that the scars are kind of gone, and so the symbol is showing forward. You can imagine I wanted this scratched off as quick as possible.
He sees where you've carved this away after you pull your hair back, and he takes a step back, remembering what happened outside of Harrowdale. Puts his hand on his hilt. And he says,
You don't need to do that, Rogar. We're not here to hurt you, I promise.
I'll remind you of our contract, elf.
Yeah. You don't need to remind me that. I got out of there because of this. To keep me alive, to keep her alive, I used to work for Arathor. Heavily. I made all the ink. All that black ink.
Can you get us there?
We might be able to.
I can. We need a damn good plan, though. 'Cause he'll know that we're coming.
There's no
He knows
surprise
we're
here.
alive now. He knows that we'll be coming.
As you speak, you look at the map, and you can see that your destination of Proscure is on the other corner, sort of as if this table has maps, and then there's sort of sub-maps drawn on the side. And you can see the boat, your boat, heading towards it, as if it's like a token heading, right? You notice that there is a small craft, and you're heading. Proscure sits upriver from at the end of this Dragonmere, the Lake of Dragons, which is an offshoot of the Sea of Fallen Stars. And you can see that now there is a vessel smaller than yours, You are very close to the town of Valcour's Roar in the kingdom of Cormyr.
You got company.
And you can see that this boat has started to match your path and is now saddled up very close to the side of your boat, probably 300 feet off your starboard side.
Don't know that this boat was made for fighting, but I guess we're gonna find out what it can do.
At least be ready just in case we have to, but I hope we don't.
When you say, I don't know if this boat was ready for fighting,
It's
you
built
hear
for
a
fighting.
strange sort of grinding and creaking and knocking into place, like gunk, 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 gunk.
Yep. Okay.
What did you just do?
Don't know how this works. You know that. I guess we have weapons now. And I'm gonna kind of walk out of the room and down the hall to see if anything happened on this deck, on this level.
I'm gonna head up to the top level, outside, top deck.
You can see that down the side, the starboard side and the port side of the boat, that there are, where the rooms aren't now, there is a battery of a few openings. You can't see anything immediately from this level. You're not sure if there's anything happening because there was sound beneath you and above you. The staircase, and sorry, Rook, you were heading up topside? When you do, on the deck of the ship, you can see that there are 3 large ballistas set between the masts. Loaded.
We got weapons!
I'm gonna look at Rogar and say we should probably get the others and get them ready. And then go over. I don't know that Gein's in Runt's room, but I'm gonna knock on Gein's door. Because I didn't see that she went into Runt's room. I don't think.
Okay.
Did I see that? I don't remember. I'm sorry. No.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
so-
So I'll knock on Gein's door and let Rogar knock on Runt's door.
You knock on Gein's door, you open it, and you can see a couple of things immediately. You see that Goro is sleeping in a bunk there. You also see that there are, it's a very Kozakuran layout. On the desk, there's a desk there, like a table. You can see that there's writing implements, that there's stacks of parchment, that there is a brush and ink. You can see that there are various other things. There's a small brazier in the side that seems to have a brass pot on it, a kettle. But there is no Gein.
Okay. If I didn't wake Goro up, I'm just going to very quietly close the door and walk over to Runt's room.
Okay.
Where I don't know if Rogar knocked on the door or not, but
No, you let yourself in, and Rogar seems to be heading up topside with Rook.
okay.
You poke your head in, and there is a curtain drawn across a berth.
Okay, I'm just going to call out. We have a ship coming. You guys might want to come up top just in case. Just close the door. Just
5
call
more
out enough to
minutes.
open up. Now. As I walk out.
The mom call. Now!
When you reach the top side, Rook, you not only see these ballistas, but when you look down over the edge of the boat, there is a small craft, no sails, green, blue wake, like an electric green blue, as this thing is racing. There seems to be one man standing on it. He's clad in robes. The robes are orange. They bear a crest. And from your privateering days, you see the crest is that of Valcour.
Who goes there?
I'm Rand of Valcour, and you are ordered to follow me.
Why?
You are in our waters.
Yeah.
We have questions for you.
Well, why don't you come up here and have a drink instead of me floating this damn thing all the way in?
Why don't you turn those ballistas off my boat?
B, can you do the thing? And I look at him, and I want to watch, see what he does when she makes him disappear.
No, I'm not going to make him disappear, but I'll have them turn away.
All right. They face away, and you can see his face is squinting. You can now see him, Bees.
Mm-hmm.
As you're hanging over the rail, you and Rogar are both looking at him. You notice that beneath you, beneath the level that you were in before, where the rooms are, there must be 3 levels now to this boat, because right near the waterline, there are a row of ports that have been opened with doors swinging up, and you can see tubes, barrels protruding from each one of them that look like black powder barrels. You've seen these before. They're fairly rare, but this is what you see is 4 of those. And as Bees commands the ballistas to face forward, these doors close. And you see the boat arc towards you and come right upside. Now he's sort of staring up at you from the deck of this ship. And he says, "What business do you have in the waters of Cormyr? And in the harbor length of Valcour?"
Actually, technically nothing. We're just sailing through.
On your way to where?
What's the name of the place we're going to? Proskura? Proskura? That place.
2 things happen as he gets closer. The first is you say Proskura, and as soon as you say that, he looks sort of deep. He looks at you, and he holds up one hand, and a white light emits from it. It illuminates your features as a dusk elf. And he says, "You will follow me to port now," and he veers away. And then you can see him sort of take a defensive stance. He's not doing anything outwardly aggressive. "You'll state your business now. Proskure has fallen."
What? From where? Wait, no. From what? From where?
From within. The torment within.
When did it happen?
Mere days ago.
We've been gone. We have no idea. We're just dropping off people to go there. Kids. You need to come aboard so we can talk. I don't think I want to turn this ship into anywhere near a place that's been fallen yet. So...
Valcour is the safest port. We can talk there, sir. And he holds up a hand and he shoots a green flame way up into the air, just a column of it. And then just off in the direction you're heading, and just off to you're heading more south by southwest, and he's heading more southwest. So you see 2 jets of green flame head up in the distance in answer to his flare. And he says,
"Great. Well, I guess you've decided for me then."
"Will you guide your boat?"
Aye.
So we can, if you have children aboard.
We do. Will you guarantee our safety in your port?
We will not attack you first, but if you raise a hand against our city, we will defend ourselves.
Okay.
I think that's a fair deal. Okay.
The moment you think that, Bees, your boat, you're still looking at this dude, and the boat veers towards these 2 green flames, and then And it's very close. It's much closer than you thought. He stays on his little dory.
Lead the way, jackass.
All right. Geen and Runt, what are you doing as you hear this these fireball head up into the air?
Same shit, different day.
I think it's the same day.
How much
is
does
true.
that drink?
Have we had any rest yet whatsoever?
Not a whole hell of a lot. A little. I mean, you've been on the water now for a fair amount, but no, not a lot of rest just yet.
I grab a bottle and I hand it to Runt.
No, thank you. You might have to kill someone soon.
Then I'll
I'm gonna-
drink from it. I'm not going up there until she goes up there.
I'm gonna do a thing
Sure.
beforehand. So I'm gonna present my holy symbol and cast Twilight Sanctuary, and that'll give anyone in a 30, well, all my allies in a 30-foot radius 7 temporary extra hit points. So I don't have a good feeling.
Right. Soon you're heading into this port, and there's 2 keys that come out, and what you see on top of them are these 2 towers, each with a brazier at the top of them. You can see that there are archers on the parapets. And you also see that down the length of these causeways is an aqueduct, and the aqueduct heads level with the top of these towers, and then from each of them is a cascade, a waterfall heading out, which is rolling over top of 2 twin on both sides of them. These 2 things match each other. A large water wheel. Okay, and the water wheels are turning, like you'd see on a grist mill. The boat is guided between, and then it opens up. You can see that there are docks ahead of you. Some have ships moored to them. There is a town that seems to be fortified. You can see that the town is dark, but the fortifications, the wall around this city, are lit and manned. And the wizard that's piloting you in and guiding you in, his boat leads you right into one of these berths, one of these harbor spots. And you are easily the most majestic ship in there right now. And magically it eases up and just stops on this dock. And his boat carries on, sort of skids up onto the sand, and he steps off. And you can see him sort of hurry up the hill to talk to what appears to be a band of city guard and a captain or some person of authority amongst that guard. The other thing that you see that there are people intermingled with this. Most of them are uniformed, but there appears to be 2 uniforms that are here, one far less regal than the other. Rogar looks at you and says, "How would we like to play this?"
I mean, there's not a lot of times I haven't gone in with a little extra knife under the boot, but technically we aren't doing anything wrong.
And we do have the children with us, so...
Yeah, put 2 kids in front. It's good enough shield. I mean, that'll, persuade them,
Give
right?
Brooke a little elbow.
Rogar stares right at you.
Ignore him. We won't put the children in front, but they did guarantee our safety with the children as long as we don't attack first. So just don't attack first.
Okay.
And we can bring that that one dude down there that's got the shackles on his face. Pretty proud of that one.
Okay.
Just slow and steady, I guess. Slow and steady.
Okay. So they seem to be waiting for you at the end of this dock, giving you space enough to disembark your own vessel. Do you want to describe to me how you get ready to go, or how you go and get the kids? They're not on deck right now.
Yeah. I'm gonna go knock on Dean and Runt's door again.
I'll grab the children and take them with me.
Yeah.
Okay, we had to actually port. We had to stop. So we're stuck in a town. Just either come up or stay in, but it's kind of annoying. Come on.
Okay. And I'm gonna listen for him to walk away.
And then I'm gonna walk by Gein's room and knock on the door. You either come with us or you stay in here, one or the other. I still don't trust you yet.
I'm gonna turn to Geen and say, we should probably go, so like they don't get themselves killed.
Yeah.
But you can stay here tomorrow night if you want. But only if you want. Because it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. But if you want to.
So good, I love it.
I want to. But we should go just so they don't mess anything up.
Yes, that's a good idea.
And Rent,
Yes.
maybe stabbies. I'll
Okay.
leave the room with her.
So, at this point, who all is on the dock? Okay, so a magical ramp is lowered. Bees, you are there with Clarissa and Hoot. Rogar is standing next to you. Rook, you are...
Waiting for Goro to give me an answer to either come with us or stay on the boat.
When he emerges from the room, he will go to you, Geen. He is in, and he appears as he's seems to be tightened up. He's standing as straight as he would, and he carries a quarterstaff. And he says, "I'll stay with her."
Sounds like a plan.
I ignore him and go up with Rent.
Rook or Goro?
Both.
Okay, up you go. He follows you meekly behind. Okay, you're on deck. Is everyone heading on the dock? Great. This dock extends down towards the town. You have about 60 feet before you're going to hit the sand and being able to step onto the cobbles. Before you get there, there is a boardwalk in front. You are heading down this boardwalk, and the children are visible, walking with Bees and Rogar in front. As you move closer, you can see that there are militia that are in a strange sort of uniform, and there's a town guard, and they seem to be watching you all disembark. There seems to be the busyness here of a town that's on defense. Towards the right side of where you're coming off the end of this dock, you can see that there are guards standing around watching a curious group of children. You haven't seen children this thick since you were in Harrowdale and coming through the questioning port. As you come up on the edge of this, you can see that there are what you would expect to find on docks. There's some places for people to do business and some stands for that are now empty that would be selling fish or whatnot. What you see is, as you're on the main causeway and you're about to head into the sort of open area where the soldiers are standing, is that there is a large billboard with a small roof on it. A small roof to keep what's on the billboard dry. And on that billboard, there are what appear to be a number of different, from a glance, looks like want ads. Okay? There's likenesses of people, and there seems to be notes and handwritten, and some of them are painted, and some of them are etched, and some look like they were done quite professionally, and others look like they were done by others, and some are just names. And it's just thick with this. About 60 feet away, you can see that there are now this line of militia and guards that are coming towards you. But as you're stepping towards, just sort of getting near this open space in this billboard, you hear a strange creaking and grinding sound coming from behind you.
Mm-hmm.
And like a huge shackling sound. And as you turn your attention behind you briefly, as you kind of hear, because it's quite deafening, echoing off these stone keys, you can see that those water wheels are spinning now. And they seem to be more laboriously spinning. And that a huge chain is being taken up between the two of these structures. This huge chain boom has risen out and now sits 3 to 4 feet above the water, where you can see it. And it's now holding secure the mouth of this port city from entry or exit. A captain of the guard is strolling with this wizard down to the dock, heading directly towards you, Bees. And Rover.
Are we on the dock yet?
You are on the boardwalk. Yeah.
Okay.
And you're just about, he's sort of stopping you right near this billboard.
I'll
Do I
walk
see
to
Clarissa?
Clarissa is with Bees.
Can
Okay.
she see me?
Not yet, but just give me one moment. The captain of the guard comes up to you.
Yep.
Says, I hear you have children.
We do. We ended up on the island of Bertha, and these are the two children that weren't going back to Haradel, so we're looking to deliver them back to their families.
He looks down to the two girls, and he glances over to you, Runt. 3 children.
No, she's with us. It's just these two.
Here, Tom, children.
What is your name? He turns to Hoot. To Hoot. And Hoot says, Hoot, what is your given name? Mirabelle, she says. One of the militia steps forward. Mirabelle! Oh, gods, Mirabelle, is that you? And he comes running down towards her. And Mirabelle smiles, and it's my uncle. And the militia kneels next to you. Mirabelle, we thought we lost you. Clarissa, it's you! And he holds them both close like this. But Clarissa pushes away and says, I don't know, you get rid of me. Let me
I'm
go!
gonna try to hand Clarissa some water again and explain that.
Before you do, the captain of the guard says, she's a croaker.
A what?
I'm sorry, Liam, she's a croaker. And she turns to Hoot. What is your name again? My name's Mirabelle. Ask her something. Ask her something, Liam. What did I give you on your 2nd birthday? Pony. Take her, Liam. Take her back. Stodge, come here. And one of the people comes up and put her with the other croakers over there.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What the fuck is a
Whoa.
croaker?
What?
You stand back, Dusk Elf. And you. And he looks at you, Runt. What is your name?
Beatrice Merriweather.
Very well. He takes Stodge takes Clarissa, who's now kind of spitting again, and he takes her over and puts her down, sitting amongst all these other children who are milling about. And you can see now that these children are kind of under guard.
What the hell is going on here?
I would like anybody who cares to just quickly roll me perception, please.
You want to roll for Geen?
Yep.
My passive's 17. I don't know if that matters.
Okay.
14.
Yeah, my pass is 17. My passive, but I
23.
I rolled a 13.
Gino, if you can roll for perception, please. Should probably be the wrong rule, but we're going to use it anyway. Close enough.
Big ups to the sound tonight, by the way.
16.
Rook, with your 23, you notice something. Almost the moment that you hear Beatrice Merriweather come out of Rook's lips, you notice something flipping just past her on Runt's lips.
Yep, saw that.
You see something strange, and it's if she's facing forward to the captain, and you lose focus on her face for a moment, and you look past, and you see one of the faces that's drawn there on this board is Clarissa's. And right next to it is one that's Hoots, or who we now know as Mirabelle. And it says Mirabelle Subtle, Clarissa Subtle, stolen. And now you realize, as you glance at this, that the children's faces.
So, are we saying that we dropped them off at the wrong port?
You're saying that their pictures are on this board.
Even the other ones that went in the other boat, or just those two?
You don't see the other ones right now.
Okay, well, they were kidnapped, so... Okay, somebody please answer me. What the hell is a croaker?
These children come back to us as croakers, or they don't come back to us at all.
No, I've heard of croakers. Yeah, that's a thing.
He looks at you, pausing as he hears you speak.
Yes, it was Beatrice Merriweather, but my friends call me Trish.
Beatrice.
No,
He takes a-
Trish.
He takes a step towards the board, and you can see that one of them is very faded, but it's been put back on top several times. This is
Stand
my
in
daughter.
front of Runt.
This is my daughter here, Beatrice. She's been gone almost 2 years now. Rosalind was her name.
I'm so sorry.
I know every name on this board. And he moves aside. Rook, you see him take off Hoot's name and hands it to you, Rook. This is Mirabelle's. And here is Clarissa's, who's come back to us, a croaker.
Which is what, exactly? Still haven't answered the question.
We're not sure.
Or
But
do
these
you
children,
not know what goes on that island?
these children come back to us. Some have stabbed their parents. Others we find with luhix and dark mushroom. They skulk about. They mumble. They speak in strange tongues.
It sounds to me like they've just been hanging out with the wrong crowd.
It's funny you should say that. And he shuffles his hand through a couple of the pictures and pulls one off its nails and hands it to you, Rook. And on that is a picture of Runt. And underneath it, the name Beatrice Merriweather.
What's on the paper? What are you looking at?
It seems we found one of the lost ones.
Oh, let me see. Let me see.
I won't give her to it, but I'll just turn the thing around so she can see her photo, or her picture and her name.
Ah, that is a lovely likeness. Who drew this? It's very good.
What does it say on it? Is it just a picture?
Underneath it says Beatrice Merriweather. Stolen. And the date is roughly 2 years ago. It says something along the lines of, "Please find our darling daughter."
Yeah.
Does it
Send
list
a-
a city?
Yeah, the city is. It's actually here in Valcour, but it says to check in Valcour with the magistrate, and the city is listed as Eisenbohr is where they can find the pages, but this page is quite old.
Yeah.
It's
You
one of
can
the
see,
more-
but it's not me. You see the nose right here? Do you see how it does this little curly thing? Look at my nose. Look, it's straight. Just straight. So, I mean, it looks just like me, but it is not me.
You're older, I can see that. And you don't sound like a croaker. Well, your
No.
voice is funny, but you're not
I'm not a
speaking in
croaker.
that babble. In that strange
I've never babbled in my
gibberish.
life, not once. Nope.
You know what happens on that island?
We don't know what happens to the children when they leave.
Hags and mirrors and spells.
I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean?
Have you
Our
tried that
children
one
have
over
been
there?
stolen from us.
Yes, but there's some reason they're using them. They take their names and they give them mirrors. I don't know what happens. B, where's that water
This is-
bottle?
It's very strange.
Get the water bottle over.
This is some water from some of the rivers on that island. Just give it to some of the children.
I see you bear the mark of Salune, he says to you, bees. Our namesake Valcour was a follower of Salune, the most famous captain that ever sailed from this port.
Most seafaring folk are our followers.
And you arrive on this boat, but you're dusk elves. And we've heard tell of dusk elves up and down the coast and all through, raiding and dusk elves were found in Proscure. I'm very confused.
Well, long story short, we escaped our situation and are not part of those dusk elves that are raiding cities and doing bad things. But we do know who's behind that. We're not part of that anymore, nor were we ever willingly a part of that.
Most of the dusk elves aren't.
Mm-hmm. Most of us are just in a very unfortunate situation.
I think this water will actually help the kids that were croakers, or whatever you call them. That one, Clarissa, has been drinking it since before we got to the island from her sister.
You can
It
see him.
helps.
He's massaging his brow as if he doesn't have a lot of to offer here, and he seems to be motioning to the wizard, or looking for the wizard, seeing if the wizard can get his attention. He pulls a flask from his breast pocket, and he tips it back and drains it.
We can assure you we mean you no harm. We just wanted to get these children back to where they were supposed to go, and we just happened to be lucky to stumble upon you guys.
Half of these children, their parents didn't even know them.
I don't know what to tell you, mate. Magic is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's very, very sad. So we should probably go, guys, right?
It seems as though
it's
his
late.
armor is 10 pounds heavier. You can see Clarissa is got her head up, and the guards keep pushing her down, and she's looking back at you, Bees, and she keeps standing up, and he keeps pushing her down, and
You might want to give her some of that water. Then it'll calm her down. Just trust me.
I can't trust anybody here anymore. You come with me. Yep. And he motions you towards where the children are sitting.
Can I do something during that whole conversation?
Of course. Yep.
Can I try to sleight of hand steal that paper from Rook?
Yep. Do you want to sleight of hand? So you're holding on to it, Rook? Rook. No, sorry,
Yeah,
Rook. Did you hand it to Runt?
No, I've
You
just
know, he
turned it
kept
around. I'm holding on to it, yeah.
Okay.
But
it's
while
not-
he
you
was
know.
distracted in that conversation, I wanted
Yeah.
to see if I could just
Sure.
kind of...
Meow.
Natural 20
Oh, man.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
for 23.
For 23, okay.
Yeah.
What do I have to do to roll against that? Or does it just happen? I'm not sure exactly how it works.
I think it would be...
I mean, he's not paying attention.
Yeah, I think it would be passive perception.
It's perception? Yeah, oh, yeah.
You're
17
holding
is
on to
mine.
it. Yeah, so I
I'm
think
holding on to it, yeah.
I think you still think you're holding on to it. You manage to just sort of take it out of his palm for a moment, between his fingers.
Just gonna hold it up next to Runt's face. And then pocket it.
Okay, it's
Did I see her hold
definitely-
it up next to Run's face?
You're busy in a conversation with B and this dude.
Cool.
So
It's enough movement of paper, though. Roll a perception. Just give me one, since it was held up.
Runt's short. She's like tiny.
That is true, yeah. Okay. Perception. There we go.
I'll treat it as part of the first movement.
26.
Yeah, you do see it.
I'll just raise an eyebrow. Just keep having the conversation with.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with this dude, but I'm gonna take Rogar with me.
Okay, Rogar goes willingly. He sort of looks back at Eugene. Goro's standing 12 feet or so behind you. All right.
So what is?
You move the 30 feet or so over to this group of children. What Runt and Geen and Rook, you are, if you don't move, you're standing next to the... did you want to do anything while they're heading that direction?
Is anyone like paying attention to us besides this guy?
Oh, yeah. You've got a wall of militia in front of you. They're standing back, but they're all looking at you, and they're lining the edge of this square in a rough semicircle. Many of them holding spears, swords.
I'm gonna start like skipping and looking for a butterfly to chase.
Okay. You do the little girl thing and start to giggle and skip, and
She.
maybe you find a cat to chase. Okay. Which direction do you want to run and skip and chase butterflies in?
Back to the boat a little bit.
Okay.
I'm following Runt, just like I'm
You want
casually
to
just.
you want to board the boat, or do you want to just head towards the boat?
Just so I'm closer to the boat, should I need to suddenly board the boat.
Okay, B, you're there, and you can hear Clarissa say, "You're not going to let them do this to me, are you? Come on!
I'm gonna
This is ludicrous!"
give her some more water just to calm her down.
The rest of the kids are all sort of looking at you and kind of pulling their lips back. And
So-
one of them grabs Clarissa and pulls her down. "What you doing?" Like this, in a slightly lower voice.
So I think it should be noted I'm still glowing.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, you're still glowing.
Twilight.
I'm still glowing.
Yep. Okay.
So, I mean, I don't think it's going to do anything to them because I don't know if this counts as them being charmed.
What does it say again?
Because it ends one effect causing the creatures of my choosing to be charmed or frightened.
Okay.
Right, okay.
And who's charmed?
I don't know if they're charmed, but I'm still glowing. So if they are charmed, they're not charmed anymore.
Okay.
I have
the
no
one
idea what's going on with them.
One is pulling Clarissa down to the ground and kind of is getting angry at her. And then you hear her say, "Tent loin and wasteful! She loin as she vitral, she boxing, she bitters. We the useless, we bulges sweet." And Clarissa kind of looks at her and goes, "We useless, we bulges sweet." And the other one says, "We captain in the cozy zealous tamper. We captain in the cozy zealous tamper."
Captain, do you mind me asking what you do with these children?
"We don't know what to do with them. They're rats in the city, they're rats on the street. I'd put them in the water if I could, but they started massing here at the dock. They think a boat's coming for them. It'd be good to be gone with them. We're just trying to weed them out of our sewers so they..." I think we're back. So we had a little bit of a hiccup there. All right, so you are standing in front of this goblin. Pardon me. You're standing in front of this group of children. You've got the a little bit of chatter going on in front of you. Rook, you've picked up that this sounds like some sort of thieves' cant being spoken. You just picked up snippets of it on the wind.
So that means that B knows what they're saying too.
Okay, great. You pick it up as thieves' cant. In a broken sort of thieves' cant mixed with a we would say like a hint of goblin accent. You've heard, "We are the willing blood. We serve the dark moon shadow. We grind the grist to make the bread."
That's not good.
Does Runt hear that? Because she can speak
Nope,
it.
Runt's chasing cats.
Oh, she's that far away. Okay.
Captain, if you don't mind, I'm gonna go confer with Brooke over there.
You talk. Mind you, we're
I mean,
watching.
you can come with me if you want to. I'm just gonna walk back over there.
He says, "I'll be with you momentarily." And he steps up and he starts, you can see he's talking to the wizard and a few of the men that are standing around. He whispers to the men that are guarding these, and they seem to double their attention. A few more come down towards the dock and now are closer to the children. Everybody appears a little more on edge. You are back with Rook. Runt, you can decide where you are in all of this now.
I want to try and just casually make my way kind of back to where they are to hear what they're talking about.
Okay. I'll say you are all there. The exception being Runt. Pardon me. Geen is closer to the boat. And
No,
between...
I'm following Runt. I'm
Oh,
shadowing
you are?
her the
Okay,
whole time.
sorry. All right. So, yeah, you're sort of disassembled and reassembled, and Bees, you're right next to Rook.
So I don't know if you heard what they said, but
A bit of it, yeah.
this isn't good. Not really sure what to do with them because they're children, but if they're serving the dark side of the moon now,
You're not
can't
wrong.
leave them to their own devices.
Still think we should be giving him some of that water.
It only helps temporarily, though.
Right.
And I really would prefer to not waste it because we may need it at some point.
I know what you mean. I may need it at some point.
And you're all together, so you all hear them saying this.
Maybe we could sell them.
I don't think that's gonna work.
Well, have you ever sold children before?
No, and I would really not want to start trying now.
Well, then I'm just saying, don't say that it's not going to work if you never sold a child before. Just saying.
Let's not sell children. You know, our options are we could leave them be, they're not our problem anymore, or we can try to help, I think.
Yeah, I really don't know what I would do.
I don't know, they're just children. They didn't ask for this.
Who told me they saw Clarissa die, was taken on a boat, and then returned with a whole new group of children, alive, but changed.
Okay.
So she did die, according to Hoot, but somehow came back alive on the boat. They brought her with them, with the children, instead of her being here waiting for. So she probably was here waiting for a boat and was brought back to the island for whatever reason. But they were able to save her. But now she's acting like this.
Like, what kind of check would it be? I'm wondering, is this like a invasion of the body snatchers kind of thing? Like, are these kids, after hearing what Geen was talking about, where she died and then now she's back, is this like a inhabiting them with other stuff? Like, especially coming from the shadow.
Is this coming from you or is it coming from Rook?
I'm not saying it out loud. I'm just in my own head thinking that, like, it's
Okay.
for me. It's yeah. But I'm seeing it. You're
going meta on me.
Would I be smart enough to, come to that conclusion as my character?
You tell me.
Well, I have an intelligence of 8, so I don't
Why
think so.
why don't you, if the notion's crossing Rook's mind,
It's like they're using the bodies as hosts.
Or
I don't know. But the mirrors, that's the thing that keeps cracking back to my mind. They asked for their names and the mirrors. Why do they need the mirrors?
Why do they need their names?
Why do they need their names? Yeah.
like
And
a
you for sure,
contract.
and you're sure that Hoot died. Or that
Clarissa.
Hoot saw Clarissa die.
That's what they said.
Did she die with a mirror, though? Or did she,
She
Dabby die?
you were told that she
they-
died by the hands of the hags
The
She,
hands of the
she
hag?
gave her name.
and fell
So-
limp like a fish.
Yeah. So she thought she was dead or gone, but several shipments later she came back, carried in, and she wasn't chained with the other kids.
She wasn't
they-
chained with the other kids.
No, they knocked her out, and then they
was looking-
took her.
Yeah, who was looking down at the hag before you attacked the hags? Who was looking down into the hags' keep?
That was
Runt was.
So, Ron, when you hear this, because I don't believe you were there for the original conversation, but as Geen sort of recites this and is chatting with Rook, this is very reminiscent of what you saw happen to the first small girl that stepped up onto the stage with Nanny Bertha, looked into the mirror, said her name, and then fell limp like a fish.
This is very reminiscent to what I saw with the first child.
So
Oh man, I love you.
her
So-
soul got sucked into a mirror, and her body became empty and available for something else.
Right,
Yeah.
so-
Do you have any information about this from the Shadowfell side of it, where he's? Does that like sound like more?
Or B might know.
Yeah.
You might have overheard something in the Shadowfell.
Nope, not terribly. Other than the fact
Frankly,
that
I mean, I think that theory is ridiculous.
You're not wrong. It does sound pretty dumb if I say it out loud.
It's got to be something else.
I mean, it's possible though. Can't rule it out until you're for sure.
I
But,
mean, but is it? Let's be real.
but I guess the question is if this is dark moon magic, like they're saying, then are we going to be able to do something about it? Which
Is it fixable?
You tell
don't-
us. You're the one in line with Salune.
well, that would be the question of the day. I mean,
Have them sent back to the island is not a bad idea if that water there is at least temporarily fixing. But it's not, because she still doesn't remember anything. It's just it calms her, so it has the same effect on all of us when we were drinking. It wasn't like it was repairing anything.
but it would get them out of this city and into a semi-safe place.
as you're contemplating this, you can see that Clarissa continues to sort of stand up, and then some of the other children are standing up with them, and now the guards there are pushing them back down and saying, stay where you are. And the guard you were talking to, the captain, he appears quite drunk at this point, and he's like, and he seems to be like frothing at the mouth and stepping back and forth and kind of losing his shit a little bit.
Hey, Rent,
Caught up to this.
Yeah, what's up?
if we do stabbies, we might want to check on him first.
Yeah, okay, sure. There's a lot of people though.
I know. But I don't trust him.
Is anything that these kids saying dinging a bell in Bee's head, or is she is anything like recalling?
That's what they're saying.
About
Something about a dark moon.
dark
god.
moon. They serve the dark moon, and
Grizzle to make the bread.
Well,
I don't know.
Rogarst
think
did
the best-
mention earlier that he could possibly get some people from whatever organization, faction of Helm, of Chantia, something to guard that island. So I don't know if we want to bring the children back there and have them stay there for the time being until we find a cure.
That's not a bad idea. And if it's under the guise of another good benevolent deity, maybe this captain over here will stop losing his shit.
I don't know if Hoot would want to be separated from Clarissa or not. I mean, I know they are twins and they know the island well, but I don't know. Hoot seemed to have been looking forward to come back home after so long. So we could give them a choice to go with her or stay here. But they know the island and they know about the water. So we could bring that up to them.
Might not be the safest place though, because that's the one place that the shipments have been going, and we stopped the hags there. So wouldn't they just come back again?
They could. As soon as Rogar can get in touch with people, I'm sure they'll send reinforcements back there as soon as possible. So whoever gets there first wins, type of thing. So
We are closer than them by far.
what do they call that in common? Finders keepers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one.
So maybe we should head back there with the kids.
I mean, I
and
personally
drop them
don't
off.
want to transport them and just leave them. But I do think we need some rest before we go anywhere else.
Well,
Yeah.
looking at what's happening over there right now, I'm not sure we want to let it boil over to whatever's going to pass. So those children need to be taken away from them.
Maybe they just need, like, I don't know, like a pep talk or something.
If only Kane was here, he could put the people to sleep.
If we have 8 hours, if we have some kind of rest, at least 4 hours, we might be able to cure something.
I mean, I could put them to sleep. I only have 2 spell slots to do it, but
How many kids are
how many
there?
children are over there?
As you look over to sort of glance and get a rough assessment, you see that there's now a large guard over top of them and a few flanking them, standing between them, and one of them's kicking one of these kids and saying, "Captain says you're going to spend the night in the warehouse. Get all you up, you mangy toads. You croakers all." He says, "Let's get these little brats into the warehouse." And then you hear one of them start to yell at this guard, or start to talk back to him in babble.
Do the thing? Okay. So I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna cast sleep at the kid that's yelling.
Well, how many can you put to sleep? How many?
5d8. The total is how many hit points of creatures this spell can affect. So it's by hit points.
Okay, there's about 65 kids there.
65.
Holy shit.
I'm gonna go for the most aggressive ones.
Okay.
7, 14, 19, 26 hit points
Okay.
worth.
You'd expect more children to fall. But the most aggressive one falls to the ground, as does one on his left, one behind him as well. And the guard starts to kick. "You're not fooling me!" And he starts kicking him in the ribs as hard as he can.
I'm gonna be like,
"Get up!"
quit kicking him. That was me. Quit
And
kicking him.
then
That was me.
Clarissa kind of starts to swoon, and you see her go down to one knee. "You're not fooling anybody!" And he grabs her by the neck and he stands her up and he says, "You!" And he starts throttling Clarissa like this.
I'm
Can I run
going
over
up.
and stab him?
I'm going
I'm
over
ready.
there.
Let's go.
I'm going over there.
You hear, as you're moving over there, you are hearing all sorts of thieves' cant erupt around you, Rook and Bees, and Grunt. Now you can hear it too, and you can hear them saying, "Stop us! Stop us! Sticky Witchy Missy needs us now. Our backs are needed to pave the road, the lovely omen. Sticky Witchy! Remember the Sticky Witchy! We're supposed to get on the boat. It'll be here soon. Shadow's Glint, be here soon. Hands, have a loop at Dusky Place, Dragon Prince, remember!" And they're all trying to calm each other down, and you've got like all of these croakers croaking out these kind of, trying to stop them from being taken, stop aggravating the guards. They don't want to go. They're kind of infighting and trying to mill closer to the water. Now they're all getting up. Now they're starting to like drag these unconscious kids away from them.
I want to stab the guard.
Okay.
Rook,
Yeah.
Yeah.
as this is happening, like I would have wanted to stunning strike that guy, but I would have called back to Rook and be like, "Can you do the quiet thing again?"
Oh yeah. I'll cast silence on the whole area.
Okay.
That's
I gotta-
everyone. That'll be. I think it's.
You said it was 20-foot radius, so 40
It's a
feet.
120-foot range, but a 20. Yeah. You're right.
20-foot sphere.
20-foot radius sphere, so 40 feet total.
Okay. Zone of
I got-
silence.
20 on my attack.
It's much of the chatter goes out. You are behind the guard. You can see that the wizard now is alerted, trying to speak. Captain Him, they both realize they're silent. They are now running. Sorry, are you motioning to them?
I'm motioning to the wizard. Wait.
Okay.
Palm.
He sees you motioning him. Runt, roll your attack.
I got a 20 on the attack.
Yep.
And 17 points of damage.
And you're on this aggressive large guard, right? That was throttling Clarissa.
Yeah, and I used sneak attack because I'm assuming he was not expecting that.
Okay. The guard is hit. Hold on.
If he's still coming up, I would have wanted to stunning strike him.
Okay. Immediately, Geen and Runt lay into this guard. 5 guards are standing around him. They are all watching this happen. And sorry, what was your damage for?
Mine was 17.
Yeah. So, he drops like a heat.
And I want to turn to the other guards and be like,
You bleed
I
him out, or you
slipped.
You're standing there with these 2 daggers. Geen, you're wading in with fists. Are you going for another guard, or are you?
No. For me, it was just the guy who was baby shaking Clarissa.
Oops.
Okay, so you're standing there as he slips off your dagger. You're in behind, like with your fists up, standing next to Runt. The 4 guards that are in front of you all go for swords and lower spears, pointing them now at you, turning them from the kids. The captain is motioning the bulk of his force to back his people up, and you see a contingent of like 50 people start to mill towards you. The wizard is rushing sort of to the scene. Rogar is wildly holding his hands up, trying to stop people.
Yeah.
can I yell out to the kids? And,
It's quiet.
Goblin?
There's
Oh,
there's no
silence.
sound.
This
I'm
is
trying
silent.
to anyway.
This is silent
Yeah.
movie.
Okay.
But
Trying
Clarissa,
anyway.
Clarissa's holding on to your hand like you've just saved them. I don't know how long the sleep lasts, Bees.
It lasts
Until someone's damaged, I think.
until someone gets kicked. Yeah.
Oh, until you get kicked, or until
No,
Rook gets
until the person that's sleeping takes damage
kicked. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Or is shaken awake.
does
or shaken awake. Yeah.
right? Okay. So none of them are taking damage yet, until you see one of the goblins trying to wake them up and smacking them in the face, and
Is that very vicious guard still going,
he's dead.
Adam? Oh, he's dead. Okay.
He's down.
He's the one that died. Okay.
The one is slapped and he wakes up, but they're still in utter silence, and they're now pointing at the Dusk Elves like this, and then pointing at the boat, pointing at the Dusk Elves, and you can see they're like, some of them are wanting to motion towards the dock, and others don't know what to do. And Clarissa's
Is that that's the
hanging
group
off your
of those
sleeves,
kids?
Runt.
I'm gonna look at all of them, and since no one's responding to me yelling, I'm gonna like motion to like round up and then point towards the boat and take off
Yeah.
running.
And some of them are already running, and so now all hell is breaking loose. You've got a throng of kids heading towards the dock. 3 of them are run through as they're fleeing by overzealous guards. Sorry, 2 of them are run through. One's nicked. You can see the one that's nicked continue to run, sort of limping forward. Some of them aren't sure what to do. And then they all sort of run. And they don't run they run with purpose, is what I'm going to say. As soon as they get some order, it's like they are charging, right? And now this throng is kind of spilling out of where it was. You've got guards heading in behind it. You've got a wizard in behind that. And you've got Rogar standing there like this, trying to calm everybody down.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing as Rogar.
Geen and Runt, you are closest to these guards who now are turning their attention on you, and are advancing.
I'm going to take. Oh no, I'm not wearing any shoes. Because she always keeps a dagger in her boot, but I don't have it because I'm not wearing shoes. Okay, never mind. I'm ready to fight though.
Geen, your Your braziers begin to glow in the moonlight. Your bow begins to glow with a silvery scrolls as you notice that the moon has peeked out behind the clouds as it's now full night now.
Are the kids, like, majority of them on the boat? Are they?
They're mounting. They're clawing up the sides of the boat. They're pushing past Goro. He doesn't know what's happening. He's sort of looking back at you. He can't stop them. They're piling and filling onto the boat. Right.
Has the wizard run by me yet?
The wizard is running to Rook, and he's now facing off against Rook and Rogar.
I'm gonna like grab the back of his robes and turn him and be like, enough.
You're in the silent spell too. You can't talk.
Right. I'm gonna be like.
I'm just gonna.
The finger of shame.
Your finger of shame.
I'm gonna have a hand on a piece of clothing of Runt, but another hand up. So I'm just gonna, just in case.
Yep.
Have a grab on her.
Sure. And as these
Loose
sort of not timid, but you can tell that they're like it's militia and everything with their large halberds and pikes are coming up towards you. Rogar now dashes in front of you, Geen, and Runt, and opens his mouth and just lays down a barrier of fire between these two. And one of the guards that was closest, he grabs his he's one of the guards that stabbed one of the children. He grabs the guy's spear, snaps it over his knee, grabs the guy and headbutts him and knocks him backwards.
And this is the point where we exit. I'm going to take Runt and we're going to dimension door onto the boat.
Okay. So you're calling the power of your brazier?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't... Do I have to speak for dimension door?
I don't think so.
Don't think it's voice. You can...
Let me double check.
I'll look it up.
Oh, you've got it there? Perfect, yeah.
Oh, well, no, it's just visual, so I'm
nice.
just be like, once Rogar comes in and does the fire, I'm just turning and covering Runt and dimension door out of there onto the boat.
Bees, you've hauled this wizard outside the sphere of silence now. This circle of silence.
Yep.
B stands for vocal, not visual.
Oh, vocal? I thought...
Yeah, vocal, somatic, and material, yeah.
Wait, what's somatic? I thought
somatic is the
movement.
motion. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I always got those confused too. Yeah.
Somatic was the... Okay, then I can't do it.
Okay.
Never mind. We're still behind.
What would you like to do
unless you're closer? If you leave that 40-foot zone, if you're running that way, the minute you get out of that silent zone, you'll hear sound again and you can speak. So if you're running in that direction, you'd leave it eventually.
Yeah. And you're keeping it up, right, Rook?
Yeah, I haven't brought it down. There's a wizard. I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, I would have had my hand on Runt, so I don't know if she wants to stay or start backing up. If I start backing up, if she keeps coming with me, or...
For now, she's following your lead.
Okay. I don't know how far it takes for us to get out of that, if we can do it within a certain amount of time or not.
By the time you reach like say 10 feet down the dock that your ship is moored at, you are starting to escape the zone of silence.
Then I guess as I'm walking, I'm just gonna keep saying whatever I need to say until it starts working.
Okay.
I'm like, come on.
You can hear that. So as soon as you can hear something, you still can't hear Rogar, but you can see now he is locked in sort of deflecting blows and these kind of things, and you then bamf onto the deck of the ship. Okay. Bees, Are you still pulling this wizard outside this?
I've hauled him outside of the circle, and I'm giving him a very stern lecture now.
You're watching your sister pull the wizard out of the circle, just so you're...
And I'm giving him a very, very stern lecture of how we were trying to help them by making the kids sleep, and his guards' actions were what led to this, and he needs to call their men off. Do it now.
he spits back at you. How am I supposed to trust you, Dusk Elf? You come in here under a flag of truce. Sure, you deliver one child to us, but now you're friends of Croakers.
We don't know what croakers are. I'm like shaking him. Like, we don't know what they are. We just found these kids and we promised to bring them back. You don't know what they are. We don't know what they are. Do you see what the problem is here?
You see Rook and he's going.
He's not really buying it unless you want to. Why don't you go ahead and roll intimidation?
Okay. Probably pretty scary. I'm a very angry woman right now.
Yeah.
I'm just against child abuse.
Yeah.
Aim. Intimidation is an 11.
That seems about on brand.
Yeah.
In your pink hoodie.
He sort
My
of looks
pink
at you.
unicorn hoodie.
Yeah, exactly.
He sort of looks at you, and he looks back at them, and he goes, "It doesn't appear as you're not friends with them. They know where to go. You've got 2 Dusk Elves with them. You're a Dusk Elf. Explain what you're here to do, which is, this doesn't make any sense." And he's looking back, and he says, you have a Paladin of Helm in there attacking my men, the goodly men.
Only because they are attacking children.
You've cast a zone of silence, which tells me that you're on the
Oh,
attack.
that's him. That's you. Just ignore him. This conversation's here.
Yeah, I know.
This conversation is here. He's only attacking because you all decided to start kicking children around. All we were doing was delivering children, which we had no idea we were delivering them to the right place, back to their family. That's it. You all are the ones that decided to start kicking children around, of which I'm not okay with.
Bear the symbol of Selune. This makes no sense, and he tries to reel away from you. Right?
I got him. Like, I got his robes.
Okay, he's trying to scramble away from you. You can see that some captains or some guards are starting to come to your aid. He kind of reels and pulls himself around. Now he's facing, you can hear the bell. He's pulling you now sort of in a circle. You're now facing your boat, and then he just stops on his hands and his knees. And he looks up, and you follow his gaze. And your boat is hovering 10 feet over the dock, with Geen and Runt looking down, and Goro staring up at it.
Holding on for dear life.
And all of the guards stop, and they actually back away from Rogar, as Rogar sort of finishes knocking one of them out.
Do you see now? We're good. Here, protecting children. That's all we're doing. That isn't a sign. I don't know what is. We're not here to hurt you, but you also can't hurt these children. That's not okay. I don't care if they're croakers or not. It's not okay.
He's just stunned, and he's sort of...
Yeah, I'll drop the silence too.
Now, if you're
You
good
can hear
with
the...
it,
He's
going to-
gobsmacked at this point.
I'm going to walk back over to Rook because I'm just done with this guy and say, let's go. Let's get out of here.
Oh my god. This is insane for no reason.
I know.
The captain seems enraged. He's looking at his dead men. He's pointing at you, and now some of them some of the men are stopped. They seem confused. The captain now is starting to marshal them and try to get them to line up and get into ranks. And he's like, "You can't let them go."
Can I
I'm
shoot
gonna
the
cast-
captain
Can. Sure.
from the boat? I hate this captain.
Rogar's like, "Calm, please, sir. Calm. We are friends. We are thunk." And he takes Geen's arrow in the chest.
Once the arrow goes, I'm going to put a moonbeam in between us and the guard so we can get back to the ship.
Okay. Moonbeam, scorching ray, just drops as a curtain on top of this scene.
Are all the kids in the boat now? Or they haven't been able to because it's floating now, right? So
Oh no, they're in there.
Oh, they're in there,
able to
okay,
Clamber
okay,
up ropes, and the ramp is still down to the dock, sort of at an extreme angle, right?
Pull the ramp. Just get it off out of port if you can. From here, I don't know if you can.
You're on the dock?
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
let's get on the boat
talking.
first.
I'm talking. Okay, yeah, all right. We don't need.
Let's get on the boat and then we'll pull it.
Yeah, okay.
They're not going anywhere. That moonbeam will burn the
Shit,
them
I
to
know.
a
Yeah, you're not wrong.
crisp.
All right. Yeah, we'll run back to the boat.
Sure, as you do.
Lovely town, by the way.
Hang on. Okay. The wizard, as you start to run, panics, screams, and let's go magic missile. It strikes you in the back, bees. Okay.
Okay.
How
many points of damage?
Not a lot. Okay, so you're gonna take 12.
Okay. So really not that many.
This seems to embolden the he's in front of the moonbeam, right? But when he looks back and he sees that nobody else is coming to help him out, he sort of shrinks back and seems to sort of be cowering behind that billboard.
If I saw him do that to B after I shot the captain, I would have shot not him, but a warning shot to him, like at his feet, a few inches. Just be like,
all right. I'll say it goes into the board right next to his face. Boom. If it wasn't intended to hurt him, I won't make you roll.
no. It was just a warning shot. Like,
But
try
we're
that. I'd like to see you try that again.
Rogar seems really shaken and is sort of backing up and got his hands out and is trying to push Rook and Bees behind him down the dock. And is backtracking.
What level of moonbeam did you throw down? It's just a second level, right?
Yeah.
What is it?
5-foot cylinder.
But
How
you can
much-
make it
how
cast.
much-
You can make
how
it
much
go.
damaged?
Oh, it's 2d10.
So after the thing hits you with the magic missile, and Rook sees it happen, he'll turn around and walk right through the moonbeam. Right next to the wizard.
That's 10 points.
Okay, the wizard was on this side of the moonbeam. Your side.
Oh yeah, he
Oh, he
was.
was on our side. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. Then he'll.
So you just saddle up.
Okay.
You like tap him. He's cowering behind this billboard, and you tap him on the shoulder.
touch my sister again, and I'll remove your throat through your ass.
An ass throated deck to me. Questions? He seems quite shaken. How long does the? He's paying attention to you. He's also paying attention to 3 large ballistas that are trained on him from the deck top.
Yeah, there's a little bit of red and black smoke coming off of Rook's eyes, like a little bit.
Okay, and there is cheers emanating from the deck of the Moon Maiden. Ah!
We'll
As
fix
these-
this, but you need to back off now.
He begins to back off as the moonbeam dissipates, but or you can hold it as long as you need to, I guess. But
A minute. It's a minute.
Okay. Geen and Runt, pardon me, you're on the deck. Runt, there are children coming up to you and patting you on the back. And the
first one that pats me, I want to punch him in the face.
and he sort of this young boy drops to his knees and grows and puts his arms down and bows low to you and sort of and has his head down on the ground in this sort of
All hail Merryweather.
prone. In fact, one of them, Clarissa, holds it up, and she's heard you say your name before, and so she says, she holds your arm up like this and points at you and goes, Beatrice Merriweather! And then you hear murmuring in the crowd, and a slow chant starts to form among these. And then you hear the name emerge. Meat hooks, meat hooks, scary feather, meat hooks, scary feather, meat hooks, scary feather, meat hooks, scary feather, meat hooks, scary feather. And soon what's left of these children are chanting and kind of bouncing on the boat, and they're in this kind of mad rage cheering you on as meat hooks, scary feather, meat hooks, scary feather.
Instead of Beatrice Merriweather.
That's got some excellence to it. I like that.
The sound is doing everything to convince people on the ground that you are not friend, but instead foe.
Yep. This is working out great.
Rogar is saying nothing. He just doesn't know what to make of this. He's just sort of trying to back up as fast as he can and push you, you bees at least. He's sort of motioning to, and he's sort of backing up down the causeway with his sword in hand, and stays at the bottom of the ramp.
Can you get? I'm not getting on that boat right now. We'll have to do something.
Or you can get on the boat and we can get the hell out of here because it's high enough in the air that we can get over that chain.
That's true.
Rogar runs back past you at this point. He's like, what are you waiting for? And he runs past you and he says, we've done enough damage here. And he goes over to the captain that has an arrow in his back, and he lays on hands. And you can hear him apologizing as he removes the arrow and takes it with him, and then begins to back off again. He says, we've done enough here, and he backs off.
Fix this. This isn't right. Shit.
Rogar then climbs up the ramp. Goro's now behind them. They're both on the boat. He walks over to you, Geen. He doesn't say anything. He just holds out the arrow and then drops it at your feet.
He started it.
I'll make my way back to the boat then too, and then I'll make my way onto it as well. And then as I'm walking past Geen and Runt and everyone else on the boat, I'm gonna say very pointedly, "Fucking humans." And walk past it up.
Humans, fucking human, fucking human. And the whole is just bouncing off the things, and
they're children on the boat.
And they're just like at a rave. I mean, they're just bouncing up and down, and screaming, and they're just like at a, I don't know.
Has Runt figured out that the way the whole room thing works yet? Like you look at something in the room and you kind of want it, and it kind of happens.
Not yet. Well, maybe. I don't know. Has she?
I mean, you wish the bed. You will the bell. You will the bed.
You will the bed.
I want to try and see if I can find a room that will fit most of the kids. One room. If I can find a room that is big enough.
Okay.
For almost all of us, because
how
I would
many
like to meet with
floors
them.
are on this boat?
Good question.
How many floors do we want?
So, what are
we can
Rook and Bees? You're on the dock. What are you doing?
No, I'm
heading
up the ramp.
Okay. The ramp retracts. You are on the boat, and the boat begins to rise up as high as you want it to go.
Yep. I'm getting us the heck out of here. We're piecing out. See you later. The
boat is rising up. You see people like stopping one another. Some are wanting to fire. Some are stopping. They slowly slip into the distance as you rise far above the quay walls and above the tops of these two towers with the water wheels on, and up into the night sky you go, and soon you can see actually that clouds are sort of cutting through the clouds, and in Thieves' Cant you hear one of the children come up to you, Rook, they said, we knew you were the one. We're going. Hands looping to the dusky place in the Dragon Prince. Wash it softer, tomahawk to tend, he says to you in Thieves' Cant. And he says, you understand this to be, you're taking us to sail to the dusky place. Spice Master calls us back home. Ceremony for the mistress.
Yeah, who's the mistress?
Rook hears him, especially the part that says back home. And now he's pretty freaking sure that these aren't kids anymore.
I'm just taking us. I'm listening, but I'm just focusing on getting us back to the island of Bertha.
Okay, so you're heading back towards the island of Bertha.
Mm-hmm.
The boat is moving at a good clip, given that it's flying. And you are on the way. So for right now, is there anything you want to do as the boat turns,
I would like to
finds a new course?
I would like to make a room for all of these children. One room.
Yeah, that's what Runt was doing, I thought.
Well, I think we need to add a floor. So I'm going to add a level.
Add a floor.
They have a whole level. And then I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I go down to my room, around mine and Rook's room, I'm going to ritually cast Tiny Hut so nobody can get into our rooms except for us.
All right.
You can only cast it on one area, though.
But before you do,
I'm casting it in your room then.
Okay, cool.
so you start to head downstairs. You are pointing the boat at the island of Bertha, willing it to go as it sails to the point, to the northeast. As you look forward, there is a wall of fog that reaches as high as you can see and right down to the water.
Okay. Is it surrounding the island?
No, it's sort of, it's not too far off the shore where you've come into the Dragon's Mere, and it's like this large gray wall. And far down on the water, you can actually see a black boat flying a familiar banner, cut into the fog.
Do we recognize the boat?
You don't recognize the boat. You do recognize the banner.
Okay.
Square with a black circle.
Great. Well, we're going to stay up here and out of sight.
Okay. The children are lining the rail, and they're pointing at the fog wall.
I'm gonna usher them to their area with Runt.
I can do it! Everybody follow me!
Okay.
Let's go! March!
Your intent is to go where with the boat?
Back to the...
I wanted to talk to B about that.
Sure.
Yeah, we're going downstairs, so you want to come
So
with us? We can
you're
walk
heading
the top.
towards the island, in the direction of the island, and the wall of fog is, you figure it's about 10 to 12 minutes away, give or take.
Is it from behind us or in front of us?
In front of you.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was something else, but it's not.
Well, I'm going to let Rick decide on... Because he's the captain of the ship. I'm going to let him decide on the fog. Let's get the
Okay.
kids downstairs and talk to Bean, since she wants to talk.
Yeah, just real quick.
Mm-hmm.
If we're heading back to the island, we have nobody to stay with them. Wouldn't it be better to go somewhere where we can find those of Helm or Chantia to get them on to this boat and then go back to the island?
I
If we
agree.
go straight back to the island, who's going to be staying there?
I mean, we don't have to leave them there right now. I think we just need to regroup after that mess. And the city that we were going to has fallen, so we kind of need to just, I think, have a place where we know we can figure out the next place that we're going to go to get these children safe. It's the first place I thought of just to regroup.
It makes sense. I'm just worried about us with that many kids.
I agree. I don't know. It was just the first place I thought of, to be honest.
And I'm kind of also worried about that. Going through it.
Was the boat that had the Carathor's logo on it, was it heading in the same direction as us toward the island, or was it heading toward us from the fog?
Wasn't. One more time.
Was the boat that had the Carathor symbol on it, was it heading towards us or the same direction towards?
Same direction.
Towards
ahead of you, below, way distant, cut into the fog.
I'm not as worried about the fog because that'll be good cover for us. I'm more worried about the boat that's now below us.
Yeah.
Sure.
So, I say this to Geen. So maybe, I don't know if you'd be okay with maybe chatting with Rook and figuring out a different place for us to go while we get the kids downstairs?
Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
I guess I'll talk to him.
Yeah, I guess.
I know, I'm trying to get the kids downstairs. I'm a little overwhelmed right now.
Okay. You go downstairs. Now, Runt, you would marshal some of the kids downstairs, and you were going to create what kind of a space?
I am going to create a very large room filled with weapons that are perfect for their little hands.
Okay.
I'm going to... Can I override the weapons?
Well, when you get down there... So the first thing you see when you get down there is rows of little children. Many of them are sort of now in military rank. They are actually in front of Runt as if she's inspecting soldiers. Each of them bearing a silvery white set of the legs of Morbenthal. They are standing in front of her, and they're all looking just gleeful, and they're talking in this strange gibberish, and Runt, you speak Thieves' Cant, and Runt, what you're hearing is, we're going to help the sticky witchy missy now. She needs our help. Our backs will pave the road. Our backs will pave the road. Lovely omen, stars like butter, slick, and here she will rule. Goblin good, spit on man and dwarf. Spit on man and dwarf.
Work on your
and they
lyrics.
all start cheering. Spit on man and dwarf, and they start to dance around like this.
I just want to go to sleep. Can I override the weapons though? Now that this is...
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Okay. No weapons.
So, Runt, how are you feeling about seeing them all like elated and bouncing around?
I'm okay with that, but do I see the weapons disappear?
The weapons disappear and they all appear.
Let's spin around. Do I see B there?
Yeah, and just looking tired, like.
What the fuck?
Runt, we need to go to bed first. We'll talk about this later. We need to go sleep.
Yeah, you go to sleep.
No, Runt, you're going to sleep too. We're all going to sleep.
Yeah, I go to sleep.
When you say we're all going to sleep, Bees, a strange sort of reverberating music sort of comes around the ship. The guy with the helmet just lulls, and all of the children go, and they all start to curl up on pillows that seem to be arrayed around the thing and falling asleep, and you're just standing there, Runt, and all these kids are now sleeping, including Clarissa. They're just sacked out.
Yeah, makes me so happy.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Why don't we go find Geen and Rook and Rogar, Runt, and let's all go to bed. I'm tired.
Rogar's watching this happen. He's down with you.
Okay.
Geen, Goro, you see him standing. Are you downstairs yet?
I went to go find Rook.
Okay, so you're
I went
still
upstairs.
all right. So you are upstairs with Rook. Goro seems to have found his way below decks.
Okay, well, I'm going to go back to Rook's room, dropping Runt at her room. And then, so I have a question. So once Tiny Hut is up, even if Rook isn't in it, he can still come in if I deem it okay, or...
If he's an ally, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I'm
You
going
have
start...
to stay in it.
I know, I'm not coming back out. I'm going to bed.
Okay.
So I'll start ritually casting Tiny Hut around Rook's room.
Rook, your sailor senses tell you are heading in the right direction. They tell you that you're I'm just saying because you're not on the water, right? So you feel like you're moving, you know that you're moving at a good clip. Okay, Geen, you're next to Rook, you're on the quarterdeck. Bees, you raised the tiny hut, and you were able to make it as secure as you would need, and then you can... Are you just going to try to get some sleep?
Yeah.
Okay. Just going to pass out.
And you do.
Yeah, sleep. Long rest sleep.
Think we can outrun it?
Yeah. It's ahead of us, and it's going in the same direction we are. And there's that fog cloud. I don't like any of it. I think we're safer on the actual boat than anywhere else. We don't need to land.
No.
We need to drop anchor here.
What happens if they get there first?
Do what?
Whatever those hags were doing originally. We might have stopped them for a short while, but if they get there first and establish whatever they were doing before, they're just going to start it all over again. I mean, we know Karathor is building an army. What if it's an army of these croakers?
How loud was that chant? Was it loud enough for Rook to have heard it as well? Or were they just talking random? Yeah? These aren't kids anymore.
No.
And I'll tell Geen what I heard, especially the part about goblin kind, because he heard that specifically. The good goblin kind spit on men and dwarves. So I think Rook is fully under the impression now that there's some body snatching going on, and that these are actually, because he said to have either go back home.
Sure. So how would you say that to Geen?
There's something funky going on. They said go back home, and you just heard them down there chanting goblin kind.
Right.
I think they had the wrong idea.
They were expecting the glint to take them back to the island like what they did to Clarissa. But why they need to take them back to the island is interesting, because when we were there with the Harrowdale children, there were no croakers. They didn't have any.
They weren't going to the island. They're going to the Shadowfell. They keep calling it the place of dusk. They think we're taking them back to Karathor, back to the Shadowfell. The island is where they turned them into croakers. I don't know why Clarissa survived or what happened to her, but because of that water, she kept a low eye. Maybe she was not quite there yet.
But why would they bring her back to the island?
I have no idea. I don't know.
So they think we're with Karathor? Do we want to keep that up, or...
Yep. We're not causing any ruckus right now.
I mean, is that our... I don't know where that boat is going specifically, if it's going back to that island, or how do you even get to Shadowfell?
Well, portals, usually.
Is there one nearby?
I don't know. My sister would know, though.
Does it have to be an established portal, or could anybody jump in? I mean, how did you get out?
I got out through her.
So she can
pushed me out of
create a
one.
portal?
From what I remember. I don't know if this is correct. I've completely forgotten. But, like, as in Noelle has forgotten if this is exactly right. Whether she can create them, or there has to be certain ones already established or whatnot.
So there are people who can create portals that go between this world and the Shadowfell. So that boat could be heading to the island? Or, I don't know. But Is our goal to get to the island before them? I mean, what happens if we get there and then they show up and they see us with all the kids?
I don't know.
Or do we want to just stay in the air the whole entire time and let them get on the island first and see what they can do? I mean, I guess the other question is, how long can we stay in the air like this?
I have no idea. I think our best bet is to go to the island, bring those kids with us, but they're not kids anymore. I don't know what they are.
You had no experience with this when you were with Karathor? Nothing with children? Human children?
No, but it's the mirrors. It's the mirrors and the names, and that they're giving something away of themselves. It's like it keeps coming back to me over and over again. I'm not sure what each one means or how it works.
I mean, I feel like it's got to be something to do with their soul or something. Like, I know where I'm from, there are legends about mirrors that suck people's soul into it.
Yeah.
But and so their body would just be empty for something new to go in there. But what would go in there? I mean, are there just souls in the Shadowfell that you could just put into empty bodies? Is that a thing? I don't know. But I know Karathor is building an army. I know he's in Baldur's Gate, or at least his main base is in Baldur's Gate. I know this island is important, but if the army that he's building has something to do with these children, that having this many of them against us, if we get to that island and that boat somehow sees us or notices us, and I don't know if they get triggered by something, if they start attacking us, it's going to be us against a bunch of children, and I'm not okay with fighting children.
So I don't know if Keen, I can't remember what I've said, but Rook's position in Karathor's employ was the tattooing, but he was also used for warfare. Like, that's where he got all of his weapons training from. So for the building an army, it's not kids, and he would know that there's already much more in the Shadowfell, right? I don't remember if I told Geen that.
You didn't tell me specifically like what you did. All you said was that you
worked for him, right? Yeah.
you worked with him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
B did too. But you never gave me specifics.
Would you have elaborated now as you're having this quiet moment on deck?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
so
for
let's
sure.
assume that you said that to her
Yeah.
now.
So
I'm building an army of kids, that's for damn sure. He already has one of those. They said pave the way.
with
Oh,
their
they need to
bodies?
pave the way. Oh no.
What?
It's the blood portals.
They're using their bodies for blood to create portals? I mean, how do you create a blood
saying it
portal?
outside.
Well, I mean, we saw what Bilk did. He cut those people and he went into bloody mist.
Downstairs, you hear a crash. It sounds like steel and things being knocked over and swearing, and
What the hell was that?
Does it sound like the kids?
sounds like kids. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna. Can I? Like, we're stuck in the air. Is there any way? No, B's the one controlling that.
The boat seems to be sailing forward quite happily.
Autopilot.
Autopilot.
All right, never mind. I can't do anything about that. So yeah, I guess I can't change any direction right now. That's up to my sister, and she says she's dead, tired. So
If you want to go join her, I'll check on the kids. I don't know what I can do, but hopefully...
got a little bit left of something. Maybe I can help. Let's go check on these kids first, or goblin kids now, I guess.
You step as you go downstairs. You can see that the kids are. No one's on deck now, and the children are sleeping in front of you, and you hear a crashing from one of the rooms in behind you, where the bedrooms were.
Yeah, I'll go see what the
Follow
noise
the
is.
sound, yeah.
Yeah.
Runt, you're standing in a room which looks like an armory, and you've knocked over a rack of spears, and you're back in this armory, and you keep trying to take them out of the room, and when you do, they disappear. They just evaporate from your hands. So,
The weapons for Runt.
What is happening?
What are you doing?
I'm trying to build an army.
Okay. How
Well,
about we build an army later?
Okay, but you get to tell B that it's okay.
How about this? I'm
You
gonna
really
pull
want to
out
give goblins weapons?
here, Runt.
Sorry, Keen. Go ahead.
You can have this, and I'm gonna pull out the dagger I got off of Penny's body. I'm gonna flip it, hold onto the blade, and hand it to Runt. You can keep this.
Thank you very much.
that was from Penny.
That was from Penny, the assistant to the Burgermeister.
Yeah, what else did you take from her again?
A ring.
A silver ring, square setting.
Yeah.
Square stone, smoky.
Yeah, and
Smoky. Yeah.
Rogar has that, and a paper that says Shadows Glint, and I think some money. I think that was it. The most important stuff was that
Yeah.
ring.
And you found 2 more of those rings last or 2 sessions ago, right? In this.
Is it the exact same ring that Rook
Yeah.
found?
Yeah. Yeah,
By
same
the
one.
way, Rook, you still haven't opened that chest that you got from the island, have you?
I haven't.
No. Okay. Yeah, so I got that dagger, the ring, some other trinkets, and the paper from Penny. So I'm giving Runt the dagger I got off of Penny because I haven't been using it this entire time.
Was it in the same pocket as the ring?
Rogar has the ring.
Rogar has the ring. Okay,
Yeah, I gave it to him. I told him he could keep it
fair enough.
to keep it safe, but I kept the dagger.
Sounds good.
So Runt, you can play with this.
So what you're saying is
you.
you gave Rogar the ring to keep it safe?
Yeah, because that was
Keep
when
it
we were
secret,
having
maybe?
we were having the discussion on the boat.
Yeah, just fought a cheese golem.
This was before we met you guys.
You guys totally missed my Gandalf reference, but it's all good. Never mind.
I got it.
You
Hey.
gave the ring to the Rogar to keep safe.
Is it safe?
All right. So, Runt, you are frustrated with these weapons. What would you like to do?
I'm going to look at the dagger
Yep.
that Geen gave me.
And say thank you. Do you maybe have like 50 more of these?
I do not at the moment, but we can worry about that later. We all need to have a good night's rest after the chaos we've been through these last couple of days.
In your bedroom, Runt, as you still standing inside it now, as it's sort of an armory, and you turn around and there's a box of 50 of these daggers sitting there on the table.
I like this boat.
Can we play with those tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay.
But you got to promise.
Mm-hmm. What do you
Okay.
guys do in Faerun here? You guys do like pinky promise? What is that something that you guys do?
Now we do this. And I'm gonna
Hock a big old loogie in my hand. And then hold up my hand.
I'm gonna
You
look to Rook.
You got to spit and then put your hand here.
On my hand or on your hand?
And your hand, stupid.
Okay. I'll spit on my hand and
It's
I'll
got to be a good one.
And then I want to interlock fingers.
Okay, I believe you now.
Okay. Rick, can you clean this up before you go to bed?
Yeah, sure. I could. Good night! And then walk out the door.
Come on, Rent. Let's get under the bed.
Okay.
Under the bed you go. Sleep soon finds you. Rook, you walk down to your door. You open it. And technically, the hut shouldn't allow you in, but I made a mistake there, and you can step through the hut as a friend. We're going to say that was... it's okay for now. Or B stirs, sees you, lets you in. And
you can designate who can go in and who can't.
Yeah, so you're in. And what do you want to do when you're in there? You pass by Rogar. Rogar's wiped. He's face down in his on his bed in his armor still.
I'm gonna look down at the necklace I've got on, which is the one that kind of Rook's sort of stand-angled together himself over his travels, which has the black stone, and then in red it has the 3 eyes and the moon.
Okay.
I was like, I could really use some help right now from both of you. And then he's gonna go take one more chug of something and then just pass out.
As you're passing out, you find deep sleep, bees, in your dreams. Mm-hmm. You are standing on a cliff, and that cliff is white marble, and it's looking down far, far below just a starscape. And you feel a presence while you're there. And you don't see anything, and you don't hear anything. But then that presence feels like it's moving away somewhat. And it's getting more distant. And you feel a kind of drain and a cold. Not totally, but just a familiar feeling of grief. And this stays with you throughout the remainder of your sleep. Geen, your dreams are troubled. You're standing on a cliff. It's white, like alabaster. A starscape stretches down in front of you where the sea should be. Behind you, you feel a presence. A calm. And then that presence seems to fade. Did you want to do anything?
Turn around and see if I can see and recognize.
You see the armor of your brother standing there, glowing white, fading as if becoming transparent and then blinking out of sight. And you feel a deep grief that you haven't thought of for a long time since the death of your brother. Runt. You're on a white cliff. Starscape. Blackness above you. Starscape down below. You feel a presence. And that presence is moving away from you. Behind you. As if it's getting farther behind you. And you look down in your hand and you're holding a shattered mirror. And grief fills your heart as the mirror crumbles into dust and falls through your fingers. Rook, you're standing on a alabaster cliff, looking at a deep black sky and a starscape where the ocean should be. And you feel your chest is on fire. And you look down and the tattoos and the moon symbol on your amulet are flickering, and they feel they're draining away. And the 3 eyes, red eyes on your amulet, blaze, flicker, and you hear one word: Mother. That word echoes, and all of you hear it in your dream, as if Rook is screaming out, Mother! But it's not Rook's voice. Something more sinister. And each one of you opens your eyes at the same moment. Rook, the first thing that you see is the symbol of 2 razors, as you look across the room, have moved near the center of the table.
Okay. Did we just... Can I jump up and check the map?
The map of the island, the town of Valcour's Roar, are distant and up here, and you can still see Hoot symbol on top of them, and they're like in a sub-map now. And beneath the symbol of the boat are twisting roads and fields, forests of dead trees, and chalk coastlines that you recognize as the Shadowfell.
Shit. Yeah. It's not what I fucking meant. And he's gonna try and wake up his sister.
Oh, I'm up.
Yep, her eyes are
At the same
open.
time.
She's sort of...
We're back.
Is she sitting when you look?
What do you mean we're back?
I mean, we're back.
You mean home? Shit.
What's out the big windows, the big bay windows that I have?
Fog.
Yeah, we're definitely fucking back.
A
Oh.
dusk light, no longer night, not morning. Just a haze, dusky fog.
How did we get back here?
Don't know. Are we still on the ship? Like, we're still on the boat. We're still in the air. But we're just... Okay. This is really bad. This is bad. I'm gonna try to go up the top deck and see what I can see from the top deck.
I'm following.
Yep, Geen, Runt, you're awake in your bunks. You hear footfalls go past your door.
I'm assuming we both slept under the same bed together, and
Yep.
when we woke up, we're just staring at each other.
Sure, and then you hear as somebody's racing past your door.
It's him. Let's go.
Rook, when you reach the top, when all of you get to the top, Rogar is following behind, readying himself. You can hear the children are stirring but not awake. Those silver Gaussian sails are still there, but they're dim and they're ragged. The boat's light is it's turning to more of a dull silver or pewter. The boat is sailing now 8-9 hours later, after you've each had a full night's sleep and a full rest. But the fog is swirling around the boat, and you see strange ghost-like movement in all directions, and this funny sort of electric feel in the air.
Are we falling?
I don't know.
I don't know what's going on.
Also, where the fuck are we?
We're in the Shadowfell.
We went through a portal.
Looks like.
I didn't do this. I have no idea what happened.
Should move on to that fog.
Can I look over the rails and look down and see if I can see anything?
You see a strange, dusty landscape full of barely alive, dead-looking grasses, leafless trees, strange cobbled roads. And that wind is picking up and it's whipping around your ears, and you just feel sad. And there's no color to this land. And when you look at your own skin, there's very little color to it. And you can hear the ship is now starting to creak and groan like you haven't heard it move before. And then you feel it lurch.
It's failing. We need to go down.
And you feel it begin to plummet. It's going forward at a great speed, and it begins to nose down as if it's heading down a steep river. And you're forced to hold on as the prow of the boat begins to list down, and it begins to pick up speed. Bees, you're standing next to the wheel. As you grab onto it, the wheel comes free from its controls and begins to shrink back into what was the amulet. It feels as if the boat is calcifying in front of you, and it turns back into this petrified wood format. As it's getting closer and closer, Geen, you see the land racing underneath you. Ahead of you, Rook, you see this settlement. And the settlement has a black keep under construction, and fields of what you know to be black luhiks, far greater than you remember them being. And you see a town and barracks, and you manage to flip all of that through your mind as the boat is just coming over the crest of a hill that faces this town and starts to nick the top of trees, and trees begin to hit the bottom of the boat as it careens down, now falling over this hillside. And it hits the earth and throws up great troughs of dirt on both sides as it toboggans down this hill, grinding into this soft farmland that destroyed this. And it grinds to a halt, and then it sort of stands there for a moment and falls to its side and slides the rest of the way.
Shit, okay, never mind. It's all good.
Runt? Sorry, you're downstairs. And you can hear murmurs.
We were on deck.
We're on the deck.
You're on deck. Sorry, the kids are... Everybody's upstairs.
Yeah, the kids are downstairs, we're upstairs.
Yeah, and there you can hear them yelling and murmuring and screaming and trying to untangle themselves. And
He just dropped under his doorstep with his mail.
Why would we be here though? Like,
I don't know.
who would have brought us here?
Do we stay? Do we run? Do we hide?
Get the fuck out of here right now.
We need to get out of here now.
So you've slid down this roar, this hill. You've been in a gully, and now the boat lies. We're going to say somewhere in the order of you guys think in miles. So let's say
Kilometers.
Kilometers. I lived in Japan for 6.5 years.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna say that you are.
I don't even know miles, so whatever.
Okay,
Yeah, no.
good. So you're still. You could see this happening, but you fell into the foothills at the edge of this farmland.
Okay, cool.
And you are now in a crash through a copse of trees, and the boat is down, and it made a great ruckus, right? But it landed in this kind of large gully before this cultivated field was rising off. You can't see the tower anymore, or just the very top of it, say. You can't see the town site anymore, or the barracks, or whatnot. You figure that you're probably about, we'll say, kilometer and a half away from the town site, maybe 2. And in dead forest, and you've kind of look behind you and you can see this flattened trough, like a comet or a
I want
asteroid.
to climb off of Geen, who I was holding on to like a little baby monkey during the crash, and then I want to go get my gang.
Okay.
I'm following and I'm running to go get Goro. And I'm gonna
Okay.
slam the door open. If he's awake or not, I'm just gonna yell at him and say, Kenai, we need to go.
You can see he's sort of crumbled and collecting himself. Nothing that you remember of your room is in there. It's just a room with a door, and he's on it. He sort of straightens himself.
I run back up deck and hope he follows.
Yeah. He has he has no armament with him. But he heads up to the deck now. He finds his way out, slides down, goes over the rail, and is now standing in the dirt with Runt and her band of goblins. And they say, "You brought us here. You brought us here. It's good for you."
Yeah, now we got to kill him.
Here's who?
The guy, the bad guy. What's his name? But I don't know. Something. Oh, Caro. You know his name. What's his name?
They don't like this at all. They're like, "You're talking.
Yes.
Big boss, Karathor."
No. He's not the big boss. Me took Scary Feathers, big boss.
We're here to help the witchy missy.
I want to stab him.
You gonna kill him?
Yep.
Okay.
Run over here trying to establish the pecking order.
Go ahead, roll attack.
Okay. 15.
Yep.
14.
Drops.
All
The
right.
rest are sort of looking at you. You kind of cower a little bit.
Anybody else want to argue?
None of them are armed.
So we're here to kill Big Boss. Me took Scary Feather, yes?
Up to you.
They take a few step back. They say, "We we need to work for." Oh, they all seem very confused and
Who
perplexed.
do you work for?
Well, we work for you,
Think
but
about it.
about 20 of them take off running over the rise.
God damn it. We need to go
It's
now.
okay.
We don't have time for this. Just let them run. Who cares?
They'll be back.
I get up on deck and I jump off the side of the ship and be like, "Are we running?"
We're running. In
Running.
the opposite direction.
Just follow us.
The 3 of you you're running in the opposite direction that of the 20 of these. Is that right? Do I have that right?
Yeah, we're running away from the
I'm
keys.
under the assumption that they're going to be running toward the keep, correct?
They're running over the farm, the hill, towards
Towards the
the
settlement.
town site.
Yeah, towards the town. I want to run in the opposite direction of the keep, because we basically just brought. Like, we have to either kill every single one of them right now or run, and there's 65 of them. It's not going to happen.
Yes, but we only lost like 20. We got more.
Runt, we need to go. We need to go now.
Okay.
All right,
there-
everybody, you heard them. Let's go.
You've got about 15 that move to follow you, Runt, and the other 15 25 seem undecided.
Run, we need to go.
Okay, can I like turn and address them?
Sure. You're talking to them?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I want to talk to them in Goblin.
All right.
Be like, hey, you stupid! Either you go to Tim and I'll kill you later, or you come with me and we kill him.
We sorry, and one of the children puts her head low, sort of backs up to you, and she said, "But you knows the dark one is coming. Yes, it's time. The big lady, big lady.
Does the scary witch lady look like that one?
I want to point towards Bean.
The witchy Missy looks like her. Yes, but the big lady's coming." And we're here for her. We're the key.
Well,
You're the key.
Well, and I'm the key. Okay, so don't you want the big lady to work for us?
We're the willing blood. We
Oh,
serve
no,
the Dark Moon Shadow.
Yes, but this is the way you serve the Dark Moon Shadow. You follow me.
No, she'll
You've
hold
been
us up.
fooled. It's all a lie. You don't
No,
know? Oh,
she'll-
you poor, oh, you
she'll
sweet child. No,
hold
it's
us
all a
up.
lie.
We're the grist. We make the bread.
I'm the grist. And you're going to be bread. Let's go.
Rook and Bees, as you are heading the opposite direction, and starting to move away from the camp, Run, you're still sitting there, and the next thing you know, so you just explain to me how far you're moving away, Rook and Bees.
Right. So before
Well, I'm
we
casting Disguise Self first
Yeah.
on me and B.
Okay, into what?
We look like orcs.
Okay.
Mhm.
None of the same clothing, none of the same hair, none of the same tattoos, nothing. We look like two nondescript NPC orcs to describe it.
Okay.
And then we're booking
Brooks-
it.
We're panicking.
We're
This
just
is
like
not-
panic run, like
Yeah.
we're not supposed to be here. Oh shit.
So you're heading into the woods up
Yeah.
the trough. All right.
I'm jogging, following them, but like slowly because I'm trying to get Runt. Just hurry up and leave them. Whatever, we need to go.
5 of them now come with you. The rest are lying prone, not sure what to do. A few of them now start to stand up. They're really questioning their loyalty. It seems you got about 5 of them you've convinced to come with you. Rogar's on his heel.
Runt, give up. It's not worth it. We need to go.
Okay, you 5 are very, very smart. Let's go.
I'm also looking to make sure Goro follows us too. He got off the boat and is following us. And then I'm booking
This
it
is bad.
towards B and Rook.
You move to the edge of the forest, and you're heading in. Mist swirls around the goblins that are standing there. And soon you see that there are Shatterkai surrounding them. And the Shatterkai all have blades out and are cackling and kind of surrounding them. And begin to kind of kick them forward up the rise and say, I don't know what you louts are doing here or how your boat got here, but you can hear this in the Shatterkai, but it's to the cages with you, they say. And they start pushing them up the hill, and Runt, you're having to kind of drag these other 5 children back. When you are just at the edge of being able to still see the Moon Maiden, you see a dark swirl around the one of the masts that's laying over on its side, but still quite high in the ground, in the air. and you can see a figure appear that's kind of crouching on this spot and looking down at the children now, because you come up the hill, are being the 25 that you left are being pushed up the hill. The other 20 that tried to run off are also seem to be captured at the top by a few Shatterkai. And then you hear something. And the shadowy figure raises to its lips a Kozakuran flute.
That son of a bitch.
Fuck.
And it kind of looks around for a minute, regards the boat, and then puffs into nothing. And that's where we'll stop.
Man, I forgot all about that asshole.
Clarification question: are these kids or are they goblins?
They're kids.
They're kids, right?
But they're
but they
not
can
kids.
speak. But when we look at them, their visage is of kids.
Yes.
Because at the end here, you guys have been calling them goblins. So
They're
For the
speaking
last
goblins.
hour.
they're speaking goblin, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been calling them goblins because I heard them say, like,
Goblin
us, our
kids.
goblin kind, and heard them say, we're going back home, and heard them speak in Thieves' Cant. So what I'm thinking is that they've somehow become... They said
think it's-
going back home, not home.
Geen may not be clear. She's seeing kids, little kids.
Yeah.
Some runs age and younger, and she's hearing this strange croaky voice, strange babble.
Right,
I love that term.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just, for clarification, like for notes, like you guys keep saying goblins, but then you keep saying, you said kids before.
Sorry, yeah,
so-
we were mixing things
Yeah.
up, but
Yeah.
Geen doesn't know.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
But
they
I
do
just-
look like kids. They do look like kids.
Okay, but they're speaking goblin. But
good.
they're
It's a good question.
okay, whatever.
It's a good question for Geen to ponder with her pals.
Well, I mean, like you guys haven't been saying or calling them goblins in character. You've been doing it outside, like
No, I was doing
metally, and so
character.
you were doing when we had
Yeah.
that conversation. You were calling
Yeah,
them
yeah.
goblins.
When we had the conversation, when I was talking to you, when we were... She'd already gone to
Yeah,
sleep.
he's
and
got
we
the
were going
body
to
snatcher
fog.
theory, remember?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you were calling them. Okay.
Yeah, and saying like, I
Goblin.
think we made the wrong decision. We should have killed them. But they look like kids, but they're not. They're
Goblins
I
on
mean,
the
like-
inside, most
Yeah.
likely, but we don't know for sure. Okay. Okay. Just wanted to clarify that.
Seems like it's time for some magic beans.
Hey, where's the song?
It's time for the magic beans. Ho! It's time for the magic beans. Ha! Time for the magic. Time for the magic. Let's see who gets the magic beans.
Ah.
So, you know the drill. So we're going to open it up for the people that have joined us, and I'd like each one of you to nominate one of your fellow party for something that you found inspiring. And while we're doing that, you can put your vote in. Those of you who are watching can put your vote in through the online poll. So, in the same order, let's start with you, Shady.
I was going to give it to Geen for shooting that dude, like point blank, like Dirty Harry in it. But I'm gonna give it to B for being the mom this entire episode.
yeah,
Like,
for sure.
just trying to hold everything together. Like she's the new Rogar.
Okay, so that'll be 1 to B's. Sounds good. So, but
I think I'm going to give mine to Runt for the room of requirement not working with the weapons and somehow making an army of children, which is, both awesome and also very scary at the same
Meat
time.
Hook Scary Feather. I love
Yeah,
that
exactly.
so much. That was great. Tim.
Great nickname.
Yeah.
okay, sounds good. Luna.
I am. It's so hard. I think I'm gonna give mine to Runt as well for her attempts at taking charge of all of these kids and making the decision to, like, because I feel like usually she does things on her own and doesn't care about other people, but now like she feels strong having this army behind her, even though now it got dwindled to about 5. But still, she's like having this leadership position, which is new for her, I feel like.
The best 5, obviously.
Right.
Calling you Peter Pan.
Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff. So that leaves you, Becca.
So I'm gonna give mine to Geen for having bees back, despite the fact that they had their little issue last time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So-
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
For straight up like shooting the captain or shooting at the captain and being
the
like
wizard, the wizard, yeah.
the wizard and being like, yo.
Yeah.
The warning shot.
Yeah.
Please don't kill our healer.
She was still salty about that at the beginning, but after seeing what was going on with these kids and her trying to take charge, like, no child abuse, like, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I think we all drew the line at the child abuse.
Yeah.
Generally, that's where I like to draw the line at. Around that area.
That tends to get people active.
There
Yeah.
you go.
People of Faerun, I don't understand. Like, they abuse children. They call women pretty things. They're just like terrible people. What is wrong?
It's almost like they're set in a medieval setting. Whoa!
There could be at least some gentlemen or gentlewomen, gentle people out there who don't.
We just haven't met them yet.
Just haven't
Imagine
met
if,
them yet.
imagine if your kid came back though and killed your wife, or your other kid or something. Like
Oh.
these are.
The other question: did Hoot go with us, or they stayed?
Hoot was taken in behind the lines by her uncle, and
Okay,
and
so they stayed. Okay. So
All right.
just Clarissa.
so-
Wait, did Clarissa join us?
Yes, she was hanging on to me as I was running away.
Okay, so she's one of the cool 5.
She's gonna be my lieutenant.
So, the bean count stands at Alpha Bees is at 9. Geen is at 3. We made a mistake. Thanks for correcting that, Luna, last time. So you're at 3. Runt is at Inspiration plus 8. So you're all almost up on a
I gotta use an inspiration.
And
Yeah.
Rook, you are at 8. Okay. And by the way, in that 9 was the audience choice, which went to Bees.
There you go. For being the mom.
Being the mom
the
and
mom
for
of the
confronting
group.
the captain and for
I like the stern finger.
Yeah.
and so that was the Banshee Bean. So
Yeah.
good on you all. So
I mean,
Great.
if you can't talk, you gotta sometimes just.
throw down
Give
a
him the finger.
moonbeam.
Oh, overcorrect much?
Okay, sounds great. All right. Well, so 2 weeks from now, we are going to have another one of these 3-hour sessions, and we are going to find out what is happening in the Shadowfell on the footsteps of Rook and Bee's old stomping ground. So
Terrifying.
I hope you'll join us then. And in the meantime, I hope all of you have a safe and healthy week. And we live in this crazy world. Doesn't make Faerun seem so crazy after all, eh? So, but it's getting better.
Not wrong.
Have a good week. Bye.